everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome to the weekly Antoine Anonymous live stream, sponsored by Jack Factory in the back. Click the link in the description if you want to get the best supplements, to get the best gains. I got it for you. But with that aside, this is not why I'm here. I'm here because the weekly Antoine Anonymous live stream is the weekly meeting between me and you guys to talk about our struggles, to talk about mental health, what's going on, how we can help each other, and yeah, that's it. So, how is everyone doing in the chat? Anything crazy happened since last week? I was in Tampa last week. Actually did the live stream from my phone. It's weird because I got like 45 viewers, way more than going through the OBS app that I have here. Just finishing my meal, sorry. Almost done. It's not ASMR here. It's not polite. All right. Okay. Well, like I said, I was in Tampa last week, and I was lucky enough to be hanging out with somebody else in recovery. Makes it easier, right? Imagine if you had a problem that you don't know how to solve, and everyone around you don't have that problem, or have that problem and they don't want to solve it. That's how I felt for the longest time. I felt like I was always like defending other people, and then when I was in recovery later on, like trying to get better, you try to hang out in the same places as before. Well, it didn't work. It didn't work for me. So it's always nice when somebody else is in recovery. It's like, I know you know. What was it like? I-K-Y-K what K? No, I don't know what that is, but I know you know. If you know, you know. That's the thing. But anyways, let's whip out the Serenity Prayer right here. Boom. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So that's good. Is the chat working? I only see two people. Two people did the chat there. So I got 9 viewers, but only like 2 comments in the chat. Because at some point it kind of bugged out. Taylor, you want to check that for me? Taylor, you want to check my chat? Oh, it's working. Perfect. All right, you guys are just shy or quiet, so you can just listen. That's fine. No problem. I could talk for forever. All right. But what we can do first, might as well get right into it. Unless you guys have any questions at any moment, just ask in the chat, because everybody knows someone that suffers from addiction, or a lot of us are suffering from addiction as well. And it doesn't have to be from drugs, right? Or mental health. I mean, the mental health, we can always be healthier, right? We can always be healthier. So when you think about it, like physically, I mean, so we can always be healthier mentally also. Makes sense, right? So I always try to be better. Sometimes we can get pretty reactive in the world, and we can be a slave to our own, past, how we're programmed and how we react to things, and sometimes it doesn't serve us the best. So, we'll be healthier if we maybe acted a different way. But first we have to recognize it. Anyways, that's for another time. Boom. All right. So every day there is a different reading in the Just for Today reflections / meditations. And today, look at this. Look at the hippie who wrote this. August 9th, 2025. The power of love. We're going to talk about the power of love today? Seriously? Damn. All right, well, here we go. The power of love, page 231. We begin to see what God's love has been present all the time. We begin to see that God loves has been present all the time, just waiting for us to accept it. Not only is the power of love, is the power of God's love. Damn, we're going full like hippie abstract spiritual tonight. Crazy. If it's somebody's first live stream here, it's kind of funny when the 12-step meetings that I go to. Sometimes I would invite a newcomer, right? Or I would see a newcomer come in, and then like the reading is about some shit like that, about God or whatever. It's like I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst, because people are just like sometimes closed-minded. They don't have any spirituality or higher power, and they're like, what is this, a freaking cult? Well, what's the definition of a cult anyway? Is a cult if the cult works and it's positive? Anyways, God's love is in transforming the power that drives our recovery. With that love, we find freedom from the hopeless, desperate cycle of using, self-hatred, and more using. See that how they put that order? So for me, it kind of makes sense. Look at this. Because I feel a certain way, I don't necessarily hurt myself. Then I'm going to use drugs for some whatever reason, right? In the past, I was happy, celebrate, do drugs, sad, I don't want to feel sad, I don't want to be angry. If angry, fuck them all, I'll use drugs. So I would like feel a certain way, be triggered by whatever it was, and then use drugs. And then look at that, they put self-hatred after that. Then I would do it so much, then I would like hate myself because of the consequences and the things that I've done to people and the things I didn't do for people or for work or whatever it was, right? Relationships lost, and I always end up in rehab hating myself. And then the thing is, if you leave that unchecked, if like, for example, if I hate myself and I'm not in rehab, well, I just said if I feel anger, I would do drugs, That's how it got me to this self-hate part. So what can you do? What did I do? More using. So then you use more, and then when you stop or you realize what you've done, you hate yourself even more. And then because you feel anger and hatred towards yourself, you use drugs. So it's like a that's why it says like desperate cycle of using. Hopeless and desperate cycle of using, that's what it is. Using, self-hatred, and then more using. So I can relate to that. And people, could be instead of using, could be something else, could be food or something, right? So we could actually like just change using or change drugs for anything, and this is relatable. All right, well, with that love, we gain a sense of reason and purpose in our purposeless lives. With that love, we are given the inner direction and strength we need to begin a new way of life, the NA way. With that love, we begin to see things differently as new eyes. Kind of abstract, but let me break it down. Let me break it down for you. Okay, with that love, we get a sense of reason and purpose in our purposeless lives. Okay, well, the purpose when I was using drugs was to get more drugs. That's, Or if you would ask me, like, what my purpose was in life, it's like, I know what it is, probably, like, I don't know, but, like, it's not doing drugs, but right now I'm doing this, and I'll just stop later. I would be kind of be like that. But when you're in recovery, if you use a higher power, you are kind of like guided by it, pretty much guided by like just doing the right thing. You can just think like that. So this is the purpose, like where your actions are kind of going and concentrated, is just with doing the right thing. And also, the purpose is like the goal. Like sometimes my goal was just like, I need to just go back to training and not do drugs. So my purpose was just that: don't do drugs and go back to working out, go back to bodybuilding. But I would only have that, clear mind and see things as like that if I was just clean. If I would be doing drugs, it would be that cycle up there. Using, self-hatred, using, repeat. You know what I mean? With that love, we are given the inner direction and strength we need to begin a new way of life. So, abstract once again, but the inner direction is the most concrete thing I can get from that. And I'll explain why. Because, if you use God's will, God's guidance, whatever, even if you don't believe in any God, you can always do good orderly direction. It's pretty much like God, good orderly direction. Where are the good actions leading me to that path of good actions after good actions? Like, if you did the best action in every decision you make all day long, hello Jesus, you know what I mean? You'd be the second Messiah or something. So it's like it is God's will to do the right thing every time. It's just kind of hard as a human being, right? Because we're all kind of flawed. But if you can make most of your decisions the best they can be and the most righteous they can be, hey, that's the inner guidance and the thing. But then it takes a lot of strength sometimes, because most of the time we just want to react and tell people to fuck off and just like, hey, I deserve this shit. Fuck these guys, this and that, right? So sometimes it's scary to just do the thing that you don't want and do the thing that's right. So you demand strength. You ask for strength, like in the air, in the open, to the universe, to God. Doesn't matter. But anyway, after that, you can begin a new way of life. And it's true. Well, if your whole life you did your self-will, only the things you wanted to do, and you had a certain type of life that like kind of went to shit, because if you were like me, now you're reading this text, so I did something wrong. But now, with this new way of life, the NA way, which is the 12 steps, I think that we should go through them a little bit after that. Be kind of cool. And then you see the things differently with the new eyes. I do. You guys are very silence tonight. That's fine. I'll keep talking. Second paragraph. As we examine our lives through the eyes of love, we make what may be a startling discovery. The loving God we're so recently come to understand has always been with us and has always loved us. All right. I get that. I can run with that. We recall the times when we asked for the aid of a higher power and were given it. We even recall times when we didn't ask for such help, yet were given it anyway. So I could be like, I don't remember any of that. But the thing is, even though with all the shit that happened to me, all the risks I took, I made it out. You know what I mean? And now I'm here trying to help people. So it's like maybe there was a path I had to go through, and maybe the universe had a plan. But this is kind of always like a hindsight 2020. It's like it's always after the fact. Yeah, God had a plan. It's like, yeah, but the thing is, like, when I was going through the shit, and I didn't have a lot of recovery, was kind of, I didn't feel good. You would tell me that, I'd be like, what the fuck is the plan? I'm in rehab. It's like, you get the fuck out of here. But if you go down the line of all the things that happened, and I'm here, it's great. I don't want to change anything. All the people I hurt, sorry, but if it happened and I don't really I'm okay with it. I just wish that they would not been hurt, but that was part of the whole process for me. All right, well, we recall the times when we asked for the aid, they're given it. We recall times when we didn't ask for help, but we give it anyway. We realize that a loving higher power has cared for us all along, preserving our lives till the day when we could accept that love for ourselves. It's like I just said, right? Preserving our lives, like keeping us alive till the day where we could accept that love for ourselves. This is like level 9,000 spiritual stuff. It's kind of hard to explain something that's not explainable. Like the love of God, how can I explain that? It's not even comprehensible. But let's just keep going. It's positive content. With all this scrolling now, I'm talking about the power of love of God. Hey, this is positive content. My 13 viewers are actually 70 viewers are actually watching right now. Positive content brought to you by Antoine Anonymous. Instead of watching some guy, puke in a Pepsi bottle on TikTok, you're watching me talk about the power of love. It's more positive. Or people get shot on Instagram. I see a lot of people getting shot lately. I should change my algorithm. The power of love has been with us all along. Today, we are grateful to have survived long enough to become consciously aware of that love's presence in our world, in our lives. Consciously aware of that love. I think I say that, and the first thing that comes to mind is like my son, probably. I'm consciously aware that of that love's presence in the world, in our lives. Because my life and my world right now is just like it's my house and the gym, and like just doing stuff online on the phone. I'm connected with the world through the phone there. But my real like life, the time I spend the most is like in this house here with my family. So my life and my world is like my little family here, and I do feel and see. Like I've said today, even to like Hamlet, Black Antoine from the gym. I told him, I said, when I look at my son's face, it's like it's the closest thing I feel I could look at God's image, look at God's face. You know, I look at my son, it's like because it's so pure and perfect. So yeah, I do feel that love and presence, you know, and that's it's there only because I'm not doing drugs. Imagine it happened to somebody I know actually. He had like over a year clean time. He had like a family, right, a few kids, and then he relapsed with the wife at the home, with the 2 3 kids at home, and then I guess he stayed all night and whatever. Like was a all nighter. A year after not using. And then I just imagine like, oh my God, you have to go back in that house and face the music. You know, like your wife in the doorway, like tapping her foot on the ground with her arms crossed. And the kids are like at the grandmother's playing because she sent them over there because you're fucked up. You know, she knows. And now you have to face that. And then as soon as you see your son again, the guilt of you messing up. Like it's kind of hard to feel the love and the God's love when you're full of guilt and shame. Lower energy stuff, you know. Well, not tonight. Tonight I'm good. You know, tonight we're all good. We're talking about the power of love on YouTube. So we're good. My friend's doing better, by the way, if you want to know the end of the story. He's back on track. Okay. Today we are grateful to have survived long enough to become consciously aware of that love's presence in our world and in our lives. Its vitality floods our very being, guiding our recovery and showing us how to live. Its vitality. It's like it's the power of God's love has a little bit of pep to it, I guess. Vitality. It floods our very being. I guess it is through all of us, right? It's that you can enter. It's kind of this type of text is like there's nothing really concrete you can get out of it, but it's more like you try to really apply it to your life and see where you could like see that love and where it's helping or where it's missing or where maybe you're not open to it. So this is why these readings are for. It's for like all this stuff I'm telling you right now. It's like I would read it and I would kind of like think about it, but it's only by sharing with somebody else that I can actually decipher the thing way more detail. So thanks to my 12 viewers right now for listening. Just for today, I accept the love of a higher power in my life. I am conscious of that power's guidance and strength within me. Today, I claim it for my own. Yeah, who wrote that? Interesting, right? Let me find the 12 steps. I mean, if you guys want to comment on the power of love, feel free. Crickets. Okay, one sec. 12. Whoa. Trying to find a good one here. Oh, there it is. That's a good one. 12 steps. Desktop. Here we go. Taylor? Yeah. Nobody's chatting, is it? Usually there's always like some people I know. I wonder if the chat's broken. You think so? Well, it is what it is. Maybe I'll go back on later if nobody shows up. Because right now it's like it's the Texas Pro. They're giving some trophies or something. It's gonna be the men's soon. Anyways, boom. I'm gonna talk about. It's a Huey Lewis song. Oh, All that for this. It's a Huey Lewis song. I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm happy you're here. Try to get the 12 steps going. 12 steps. Oop. 12 steps of NA. Clink. Clink clunk. Clink clunk clink. Bring it up. Poof. Okay. Oh wow, it actually did the thing. Okay, there you go. Ah, the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous. Oh, it's a song. Yeah, the power of luck. Yeah, I know what you mean now. It is a song. You're right. Maybe I should read the lyrics of that song and try to understand the reading I just read. But there you go. For those who are new to this, and for those who have been there for a while in the program, which I doubt, but this is the 12 steps of Narcotic Anonymous. Okay? Let's go through them. It'll be good exercise for me. Step 1. We admitted that we were powerless over our addiction and that our lives had become unmanageable. So that's the first step. You know, when you try to get clean, you're an addict and you're on drugs, the first step into getting clean is this. You got to admit that you're a mess, pretty much, and that you can't control drugs, even if you tried. And then trying to control your drug use made your life all fucked up and not manageable. So that's the first step. Second step. Whoa. We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. You know when I talked about God earlier? Here it doesn't say we believe, right? It says we came to believe. That's what happened to me. I didn't believe in anything. Like I was like, what? Like kind of an agnostic, right? I know something's weird because I've seen stuff on drugs, but I don't believe like I don't know what's what. Well, you know, doing the program, I came to believe in something that was bigger than me, and that it also helped me, you know, restore us to sanity. It says. And then 3, that's an important one. We made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. I like the fact that they add as we understood Him, because everybody's beliefs are different. Some of them match each other, right? Like if like some people are Christians and they see other Christians, like, hey, Jesus. And then somebody is like as a Muslim, they will see another Muslim and say, hey, Muhammad. So yeah. But as long as you have a God that you understand, that's good enough for you, like to help you out. I mean, that's the thing. Then you got to give your will and your life over to the care of Him. So what does that mean? Well, your self-will brought you to whatever dark shit or mess you're in. So this is so you don't make any decisions anymore. You let God do the chores for you, and then you do the action of doing that. So it's kind of like going back to the other thing about God's will and stuff we talked about earlier. 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. This is when the work starts, I find. Because 1, 2, 3 is like, oh, I'm a mess. Okay, the God can like maybe help me out with this, and then I'm gonna put my trust into Him and try to do the best thing, you know, try to do the right thing every time. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is like, okay, now you got to write some shit down, and your whole life, the moral fearless. And it says fearless because you're not supposed to hold back. You're supposed to write everything that's like a moral inventory, like things that you've done wrong, how you feel about it, even stuff that you didn't tell anyone, especially that stuff. Maybe you should put that on paper there and just write it all down. And then 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrong. So whatever 4 through you wrote, I think at 5 you kind of like admit that to yourself, to God, and then to another person. And usually, like back in the day, people could like get a priest to hear you out, or also in AA and NA we have sponsors that can do that. You got to trust someone, right? Because imagine you tell the exact nature of all the wrong things you did, dude. That's like you, like who can you be that honest? It's like sometimes some people will never tell anyone the worst things they've done. You got to go to the grave with it. Hussam, I was just thinking about you. You know what I mean? What's up, Hussam? Yeah, family's great. All of that for this saying tougher than diamonds, cream sugar harder than a bad girl's dream. Is that the lyrics of the song? It's the lyrics of the song. All that for this is just typing lyrics of the song Power of Love. All right, I'm gonna keep going. 6. We were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. So this one's kind of a funny step. I always forget about this one because it said like we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects, but then the 7 is like, oh, we asked Him to remove these things. So it's kind of funny. Like the for 6 is like, oh, we're ready. That's just the 6th step is like, I'm ready to like remove all these for having God to remove all these defects. And when I say God, it's like you never really decide like, oh, I'm gonna remove this defect because this is how you program, right? But you're ready to change pretty much. Like you're ready to like allow a higher power to change. So you have to let go and not be scared because there's some bad qualities that I had when I was using that I still liked when I wanted to get clean. Like being impulsive and reactive, it's fun. I like it. But then it got me into trouble. So it's like, oh, giving up like some, maybe sometimes like I'm still like impulsive sometimes, but like there's some like defects and stuff that were part of my identity. I didn't want to give them up. So I had to be ready of changing, right? It's like now I'm like 38. I'm not like the same crazy guy when I was 20, and like me when I was 20, I didn't want to give all the craziness that I was how I was. I was already giving up drugs. I didn't want to give up everything. But then when I was clean, there was a transition that was kind of hard. So I wasn't ready, I guess, at first. But with time, I got ready, and then 7, we humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. Shortcomings. What's that word mean? I think it means like just wrong or wrongs. 8. 8 is rough too. 8 is rough too. Look at this. We made a list of all the persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. So this is all like stuff like to start living life clean and then just have a good life. And that's the program right there. So part of the program is like everybody that you did something wrong to, you make a whole list and you try to make amends with them. At least became willing, right? Because some of them you won't be able to do it. Like if somebody's a stranger, you can't really make amends to a stranger, so you'll do something like that's kind of equal, or something to make amends somehow for you to like feel like you did make amends. But at least you're willing. The 9 is actually the doing it. We made direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Like for example, like would injure them or others. Is that an example of that? We make direct amends to such people. Like I don't know. You lied about something, somebody's pet dying, and then it's like you're gonna call this person that's like was really traumatic to go through this pet dying or something, this pet fish, and then you'll be like, hey man, I'm the one who flushed your pet fish down the toilet. And then is it gonna hurt them? Or are you gonna hurt them, just selfishly hurt them so you can feel better about yourself because of something horrible you did? So there's like gray areas, I guess, with that. I never really had to do that, I think. Like, was there a thing that I had to do? Like, oh, I can't, or maybe like somebody would go to jail or something. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I never had to go through that part. Like I was keeping myself from making an amends because it would injure them or somebody else. So I'm lucky enough for that, I guess. My amends were done pretty quick, honestly. It's like I skipped a step and was like, said sorry to everyone. But then people were like, I don't give a fuck about your words. So I get it. So I was making, the longer I stay clean, the longer I'm still making the living amends of being clean. All that for this is still writing the lyrics. Okay, so 10. So now that you've done the fourth, like the fearless moral inventory of yourself. You rolled all the bad shit in, maybe some good too, and then you admit it to yourself, to another person, to God, and then you were ready to change, and then you make the list of all the people that you harm, and then you're willing to, make amends, and then you try to make amends. After all that is done, and then you continue to take a personal inventory of when we were wrong and promptly admitted it. So it's pretty much you do a four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all into every day into one step, kind of thing. It has to, every day is good, but like you don't have to do it every day. But like it's pretty much a thing. As soon as you do something wrong, like shit. I'm always taking personal inventory. Like what am I thinking? What's my motive? Who am I talking to? Why am I doing this? Am I doing the right thing? You go through a personal inventory like every day or all day or as the day is going by. And then when you're wrong, promptly admit it. It's like as soon as you're wrong, you try to just calm down if you're angry or whatever, and then you're like, okay, did I do something wrong here? And then you just suck it up, and then you admit it, and you try to make amends right away, so it doesn't become resentment or somebody doesn't resent you, shit like that. And then 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying. Hey, Justin, what's up? He's saying, Antoine, I'm coming on 3 years sober to September 18. I'm forever grateful for the conversation we had and the help you're giving me and motivated to get clean. Love you. Cool, Justin. Congratulations on the 3 years. Justin. I only know Justins with like different family names. So, Mr. Justin, your first name is Justin too. When did we talk? I mean, I'm glad we did though, because 3 years is pretty good, man. September 18, 3 years, day by day, we did it. It's pretty good. So it's kind of nice to see that so stuff. Sometimes I just speak. Honestly, sometimes I just speak. From experience, and sometimes I just feel like I need to share stuff. Justin Greco, we talked about 3 years ago exactly. Whoa, that's awesome, man. Yeah, sweet, man. That's great. What was I saying? Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm just sharing stuff because I need to share sometimes. It helps me kind of categorize all my thoughts regarding my recovery, my addiction, all that stuff. It just helps me refresh and and sometimes by talking, I do puzzles in my head of all the stuff I'm saying as it comes out, and I find new pieces that go together and discover new things. So it helps me when I share. Yeah, let's keep reading. 11. We sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. So pretty much prayer. Where's Usam when we need it? Usam, he's the best at praying here that I know of. So through prayer, when you talk to God, and then meditation is the opposite. You sit there and in silence, you try to listen to God, and then you improve the contact and the relationship with your God, that how you understand Him. And then it says here, look at that, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. It's like, okay, praying only for the knowledge of His will. So the only thing you can probably pray for anything. Please let my grandmother win bingo this week. She would really love to win bingo. God, please help. Sure. But I think the main important thing for praying, from what I'm getting from this, and how I'm seeing it right now today, from my perspective, maybe that's how I need to see it, and that's what I need to do to pray, is praying only for the knowledge of His will. So I need to only pray to know what He wants from me. So God, what do I do? And then you'll hear an answer, and then you just kind of do that. And then you also ask for the power to carry it out. Sometimes it's like, oh, you need to do this crazy thing that's the right thing here to do is to sacrifice one thing and give up one thing that you've been holding on, or maybe leave this relationship. And that's scary, right? Being by yourself. I mean, you're never really by yourself if you believe in the God of your understanding. But then you need, that's why you could pray for the power to carry out His will also. You don't carry the will to be, you don't carry the thing to be done, can you just fix this thing magically with my girlfriend? No. You need to ask for the power to carry it out. carry the will. So you need to take responsibility yourself, and then the courage you're gonna, you can ask for some, the power too. And then 12, the 12th step. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Whoa. See what I'm doing here today? Carry this message to addicts. I don't know if there's an addict here. Justin, he's a recovering addict. So I'm doing the 12th step right now. Ooh, you guys didn't know about that. I'm actually doing one of the steps. I'm going to reread it again. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. And by the way, a spiritual awakening, when I first heard about it, I thought it was like, oh, somebody told me that somebody was sharing in a rehab, like, I had a spiritual awakening. Was it like a rehab or something? I don't remember. But, yeah, somebody in there, I think it was first rehab. I had a spiritual awakening. I was doing kayak in the lake. And then the sun was glistening on the thing. And the thing was shining. And the birds. And then I felt like God's love everywhere. Then I realized that what I was doing was wrong. And that I don't, I'm so small in the universe. So this guy was like having a full-blown like spiritual awakening, like that was like crazy. Like in one moment, he just realized, his place in the universe, I guess. But the thing is, like, I had like some aha moments, right, in my life, in my spiritual life, but I've never had like a spiritual awakening where I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy, and then I'm like, oh, my mind is blown, and I feel like God is like rushing through all the fibers of my skin, and I'm like, I'm enlightened. Right? Never felt that. But I think it's like my spiritual awakening is like a slow build up. It's like I didn't wake up, like it's like somebody pressed a snooze button a bunch of times. So it's like my spirits, I was about to wake up, snooze 10 minutes more, a few more years, and then at some point now I'm awake. No, I don't even know if I'm awake, honestly. Maybe I'm pressing the snooze button as we speak spiritually. But I'm just saying that you don't need to have like a one moment that's like a spiritual awakening. You could just have a slow build one. Like a slow burner spiritual awakening. So that's more what I'm having still. I don't think I'll ever be like, oh, this guy was figuring it out totally. But I think that's the whole point is that we try to figure it out together by helping each other and sharing and being honest. And then we're going to be close. Maybe, at some point you'll be like, no, I figured it out. The whole point of life, my deathbed, the whole point of life was to live life the best way that I could, in the most righteous way. Die. And then I'm like, I'm good. Who knows? And then it says here, practice these principles in all our affairs. So like all this way of like living, that's the 12 steps, all the gifts of recovery. Well, you can't just like, in my opinion, I can't just like go to the meetings or right now talk to you guys about recovery, right? And then I'm going to close this live stream and then just be a total dick to anyone I meet. And be like selfish and then do my self-will, be self-centered. But then I go, it's like the Sunday morning Christians only. When the Christians, they go into a church only on Sunday mornings and they just dress proper at church. They're going to be nice to people at church. But then the rest of the week, they're fucking maniacs. Yeah, well, not that. You got to practice the principles in all the affairs, in your relationships with your wife, in your relationships with your friends, with your family, at work, and also even the way you do your work. You apply the same principles, right? Hit thumbs up. Is there a thumbs up? Should I hit the thumbs up too? Let's see. Oh, let me see if I got thumbs up. Anyway, you guys agree? You agree with anything that I said? You don't have to agree. If you disagree, let me know. But yeah, so if you read these steps here, like Justin, have you done the steps a little bit? Some people, they do the steps, some people don't. Some people, they don't 12 steps. But I do. It's really helping. And the thing is, you don't do like step 1 to 12, then you just stop. You actually like, it's the thing you do all the time. You bounce from one to the other, like do it however you feel. If you feel like you're getting your self will back, well then this is like the third step. The third step today is what I need to do. And then if you feel like you wrong someone, and then the amends, and also like the step 10 is what I need to do. And then when you have the opportunity, you do step 12. So this is how it works. You don't do like 1 to 12 and then like, oh, I'm cured. Now I can like maybe take a beer. Andrew Pangnan, again, I think you were concerned with that too last time. No God in honest recovery. No myths. You can elaborate on that, Andrew Pangnan? Who can maybe help you with that? But the thing is, it's like maybe you're saying like if you're an atheist, right? What if you're an atheist and you want to do the NA program? Well, I'm sure it works. What's greater than you? The group? The group of people that's great, that's more than you? As long as like you're allowing something greater in yourself to guide you and help you out. I mean, the group can be, I don't know, maybe sometimes everybody can make mistakes at once, right? As a group. But the good orderly direction, like you know what the most righteous thing is to do, right? You know what it is. So even if you don't believe in God, you know what's right or what's wrong, unless you're a psychopath or something. You just follow what's right. This is God's will. And you can also pretend to have a God. Fake it till you make it. But honestly, if you just like keep an open mind and just, it's like if you look at everything like this, there's something out, there's something more than just meets the eye. Like, come on, man. We got 5 senses because we have to survive, in the things around us. But don't you think there's more than what we see? But we don't know exactly unless your faith is like super strong and you're like certain. And your faith is like 100% solid that, yeah, this is what I believe in. 100%, this is what my faith. Faith is like belief without seeing. So that's what faith is. So I guess, that's very personal. Like the faith, everybody's faith is very personal. Some people don't mind talking about it. Some people knock on other people's doors and try to convert people for it. It's kind of annoying, but honestly, like if whatever your faith is, as long as it's helping you out, this is the best. I'm happy that this faith exists for you. It's the best. But yeah, Andrew Pangnan, I don't understand what you're saying, but it's okay. So this is how this 12 steps work. If you want to read them again or in more details, you could just, I'm sure all the readings are online at this point. It's like, just type like NA, or just type this, the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. But anyways, good chat, guys. Well, poop. One sec. Poop. Here we are on a Saturday evening, early night. So if nobody has any questions, Justin, by the way, thanks for stopping by. Congrats on the 3 years, one day at a time. It's awesome you doing the steps and stuff, man. It's good. I'm sure in 3 years you had some gifts of recovery. Some miracle for sure. I mean, you're a miracle of recovery if you were a goddamn addict like I was and you got better. So good job on that. And remember to pass the message if you can. To the self-suffering, to anybody, like just it doesn't have to be a message like the message just pass the good, just pass the good around. Help somebody, just listen, whatever it is. Really, it actually matches today's message. All that for this, that's awesome. See, sometimes I wonder, like, is everything kind of linked together, like in a simulation? It's like, how does that work? Right? Well, I'm glad that all that for this you could relate to a little bit of something. Justin, appreciate it, and appreciate you. It's a long road, and yeah, it's a long road, and it's not finished. We can always go off-road, and then we're just back in this shithole. So let's stay on track, day by day. Even sometimes when it's like, sometimes life on life's terms is like annoying. It's hard, and some people it's harder for them than other people, right? Like I'm pretty lucky that a bad day right now. What does that mean? Nothing even worth mentioning. Meanwhile, there's people overseas that are really suffering, right? It's like man. So a bad day is like a bad day now is like it's easy compared to like whatever days I had when I was using. So, but they could get really, really bad and way worse if I just went back on the bad side of history, bad path. So let's Justin, let's keep working the program. It's doing hard, and I gotta find this Discord. Where is it? Don't switch. What is this? Where's my Discord? Boom. Create invite. Copy. So here's the Discord group chat for the sorry, right side. Nope, that's not it. There you go. Here's the group chat for the Discord where you guys could talk to each other. Just had the meeting online. Had to do a shorter one. Yeah, so the Discord is pretty cool. Like there's people there. Other recovering addicts talking about stuff and helping each other out. So if you need like support, you can give a shot in there. People will answer, right? There's people out there. Like some guy was asking about something about genetics just now, but I was trying to get people to go to a meeting. Yo, Simo, what's up from Morocco? Actually, my aunt and my cousin stayed over a decade in Morocco, Marrakesh. So I know a little bit about it. It's nice. But anyways, guys, Simo, sorry, I gotta go now. You just came at the end, but once this, if you want to hear, it's funny because today's like reading was about the power of love, and not any love, like God's love. So a very abstract reading, and then we went through the 12 steps of NA. So if you're curious about that, you can just rewatch the stream. It's going to be online by itself at some point. Yeah, it is pretty hot in Marrakesh, huh? 100%. Yeah, they moved back here now. They're back in Canada. All right, well, anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and you guys take care. You guys take care of yourselves and take care of your neighbors. Except if they're dicks. Just ignore them or something. Call the cops on them. But yeah, but if they're good neighbors, take care of them. And if they're sad neighbors, maybe you make them like be there for them and validate their feelings. And if they're dicks, actually, you can even try practicing praying for them. Like, God, help these dicks. You know what I mean? Sometimes praying for people you hate is actually a really good spiritual exercise. So you guys can try that. Scott Stevenson saying, glad to see you doing this, Antoine. Scott Stevenson. Arnold years ago with John Meadows. Yes, Scott. How are you? Isn't like John Meadows' day of celebration today or something? I saw it. I reposted one of his reels. Man. John was awesome. I wish I was able to, like, before he passed, like, just to keep contact with him again. Because I was, like, not doing so well with my addiction. And then when I started back, like, coming back in the industry, well, I was, like, busy coming back, like, just really worried that, like, just focusing on, like, my comeback and this and that. And I was, like, thinking, like, I'm going to reconnect with John later. You know what I mean? And then it just later didn't happen. So I was like, man, at least I have all these nice memories with him. And a lot of it is on YouTube. Like all the grocery videos, me and John. So, yeah, I wish he would have seen me like imagine now he would have seen me with my son. He would have been so happy. He was like one of the first like bodybuilding like figures I saw with like that was a father too, with like his two sons, And he was like such into being a dad and stuff. And for me, it's like I didn't really see that in my life. So it was like when I stayed with him like a few times, right? It was like cool, like staying in his house with him. But yeah, I think he would have been proud now. Man, it's like there's some people who pass away. It's like, oh yeah, it sucks. It's like, but then there's some other people you're like, you kind of miss them for real, you know. And I'm sure John is missed by many. But yeah, I still see his stuff pop out sometimes, and it's cool. And people still mention me and John all the time because of the videos and stuff. So, but yeah, I really care about him too. I wish, like I said, I wish I would have just like not waited. But I feel like I was still like, I went through so much shit. It just slipped my mind that sometimes you just get busy, and then you forget about that people sometimes, you know, life is just a fleeting thing. Some people last longer than others. Some people don't. So that's another lesson maybe that we could have for today, where it's like, if you love someone, well, you haven't talked to them in a while, just like keep contact, keep in touch. You know, give him a call, say, hey, what's up? You know, like sometimes family, we do that with our own family. Like, when's the last time you called your mom and stuff, right? If they're still around, it's like, this is very important stuff. But yeah, shout out to John. You're saying yes, he would be extremely proud, my man. Carry on the dad spirit. Yes. Yeah, I miss him too, like the dad spirit. Awesome. Being a dad is awesome. Losing people like John does give us those lessons to really cherish them while they're alive. Tomorrow's unpromised. You're right. Yeah, you just need like to have like a one loss like that, and then you're like, shit. Then you don't want to miss out on all the other ones, right? Imagine like that's something I think about sometimes, right? You're on your deathbed, and then you pass away or something, right? And then God comes down and says, hey, this is all the time you spent scrolling Instagram and TikTok past like 25 years old or 30 years old. And this is the time you spend with your mom after 30 years old. And then it's like, one is like thousands of hours. And then the other is like 100 or something. I don't know. I talk to my mom all the time, but that's just an example, right? Imagine if you're like, just before you're dying, you see in your face the number of hours you spent scrolling and the number of hours you spend with the people you love in your head, right? The difference. Oh, shit. All this time that I wasted scrolling, I could have just give them a call? That's crazy. Yeah, for sure. Nobody's going to regret spending more time. Yeah. That's what somebody was telling me that. Was it Taylor? Was it you? You told me like, oh, are going to be on your deathbed regretting like you didn't play enough video games? And I was like, maybe. Yeah, it's one of John Mado's friends right now. Yeah. All right, well, Scott, I'll see. Hope to see you around for real. I'll, maybe the Olympia or something, or when I come down back to the Arnold. But I gotta go. I gotta watch my friend get on stage right now, the Texas Pro. So. Yeah, he's like, damn. There was that one post I didn't put up on TikTok. that one TikTok dance I didn't do.
Never gonna regret not playing enough video games.
Never not gonna regret not playing enough not video games. What?
I did not say that.
You're never gonna play not video games?
No, you're never gonna regret not playing enough video games.
I know. I'll be, yeah. Because I would have played enough already.
Oh my god.
All right, have a great night, everyone. Scott, yeah, thank you, man. God bless to everyone.